In 1979, a NASA research station mysteriously crashed to Earth from orbit. As it entered the Earth's atmosphere, a massive portion of the station burned to ashes. However, some of its debris landed in a sparsely populated region of Western Australia. Since NASA showed no interest in these remains, residents of the nearby village began displaying them like a museum. This also served as a source of income for them. However, one evening, a horrific incident was triggered in that village, and the entire village was destroyed in a single night. What was inside this research station? What mystery lies behind the destruction of this village? So, let's begin the explanation of the newly released horror sci-fi movie, Cold Storage. The year is 2007. In the dead of night, a middle-aged man travels along a village path in Western Australia and arrives at a phone booth in total panic. He quickly places a call to a biochemist in Rome named Dr. Martins, who is affiliated with NASA. Martins takes the call, and without identifying himself, the man begins to speak. He mentions that he had called NASA representatives 6 times before, but no one paid him any attention. However, if Martins doesn't listen and take immediate action this time, their village will be finished. That's because during a space mission in the 1970s, a NASA tank landed in this Western Australian village. And after all these years, something strange has emerged from that tank, causing the villagers to fall ill and die. When Martins asks for his address, the man's health rapidly deteriorates before he can answer, and he dies within moments. The next day, Martins travels from Italy and reaches the address mentioned by the man along with Pentagon operatives Robert Quinn and Trini Romano. Martins explains that during a 1979 NASA mission, a space station called Skylab crashed to Earth. It contained an infectious fungus that had been sent to space for research purposes. But since the mission failed, all tanks on the Skylab space station were destroyed to stop the infection. However, they could not locate one specific tank at that time. Martins believes that the tank landed in this Western Australian village, causing everyone to fall ill. Therefore, to stop the infection, they put on hazmat suits and enter the village to find the tank. Upon entering, they see that the entire village consists of only 14 houses and 12 cars. But the entire village is completely abandoned and eerily silent. There is no sign of a single human being even in the distance. In this tiny, deserted village, it doesn't take them long to find their tank. As Martins approaches the tank, he sees that a farmer created a small Skylab museum. It contains the tank and various articles related to the Skylab space station. He even notices that they used to clean the tank regularly. And perhaps while cleaning it, the mutated fungus somehow escaped from the tank and infected everyone. As Martins attempts to collect a sample, he sees that the fungi are still alive and moving very fast. When he gets closer to the tank to examine them, a piece of the fungus penetrates his boot and enters his foot, infecting him unknowingly. At that moment, Romano climbs onto the roof of a car and finds a horribly disfigured body. Seeing this terrifying state, they realize how deadly and contagious the fungus truly is. However, they have yet to see something even more gruesome. Robert notices that it isn't just this one person. Distorted bodies are lying on the roof of every house. It looked as if the fungus had lured everyone to the roofs, where they burst and died one after another. Martins realizes that the fungus could spread further over time. So he quickly collects a sample and stores it in a container. At that moment, his health suddenly begins to fail. The piece of fungus that entered his foot has now started working through his body. As they quickly move away from the village toward the car, Martin's condition worsens abruptly. He realizes he is infected and that if he stays near Robert and Romano, they might get infected too. Romano doesn't want to kill him, but Martins tries to escape alone with the car. However, after thinking of something, he doesn't flee but gets out of the car and, to save the other two, grabs Romano's gun and dies. Now, time is running out. The entire village, including the tank, must be burned as soon as possible. So, the military arrives and destroys everything, taking the sample collected by Martins. They bring it from Western Australia to an underground vault in a government storage facility in Atchison, Kansas. The government seals the vault and leases the space to a self-storage company. As a result, a storage unit has been built there where people store their old belongings and can visit as needed. 18 years pass. In the present time, Travis and Naomi work as security guards on the night shift at the storage unit. When Travis arrives for work today, the company manager Griffin tells him something. He wants Travis to pretend to fall asleep while on guard duty so he and a few friends can enter the storage. Their goal is to steal several TVs stored there. He offers Travis a share of the loot, but Travis cannot betray the company. When he refuses to help, Griffin threatens to fire him and leaves. As night falls, an elderly woman named Rooney goes there with the key to her storage room. It turns out today is her wedding anniversary, and she wants to relive some old memories on this special day. Once she reaches her storage room, she looks at an old photograph of her late husband and wishes him a happy anniversary. Then she picks up a gun that she had hidden there. In reality, Rooney didn't come to relive memories. She came to escape a lonely life and meet her husband waiting in heaven. However, she suddenly thinks of taking one last nap before she dies. So, she keeps the gun near her in the storage room and falls asleep. Meanwhile, while guarding below, Travis repeatedly hears a strange alarm sound and informs Naomi. But after Naomi arrives, she doesn't hear the alarm once. So, she doesn't believe Travis. However, a moment later, she hears the sound herself and, believing Travis, both start looking for the source of the noise. Within a short time, they find the source and realize the sound is coming from behind a wall, but they don't understand how. So, Naomi tells Travis they should break the wall to discover the true source of the sound. On the other hand, even after 18 years, Robert is still safe. Meaning, although Martins died that day, he and Romano were not infected by the fungus. He now lives in Northern California. It was midnight and he was asleep. Suddenly, a call came from a military officer identifying himself as Abigail, but he hung up at first. A moment later, Robert calls Abigail back from his secret phone. Surely she wants to discuss a classified matter regarding national security. Abigail reveals that in the cold vault where they sealed the fungus sample in 2007, an emergency alert detected some movement around 3:14 a.m. They suspect someone got close to the vault or something went wrong there. The fungus is so deadly that if it spreads once, the entire country will be finished. Robert mentions that he has checked many times before to see if the vault sample was intact, but he never received such news. This time, perhaps the anomaly in the vault appeared due to a temperature change. So, Robert decides he will go himself because he already knows the nature and prevention of the fungus. He will reach Kansas within 90 minutes and normalize the situation as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Travis and Naomi break the wall and go to the other side, finding many temperature measuring machines. They also find a map of the storage lab inside. Following the map, both set out to find the lab, and within a short time, they find the room shown on the map. Entering the room, they find various military equipment, special suits, and a printing machine. Then, hearing the alarm sound again, they head toward it and find a secret staircase leading from the room to the lab. They realize the sound is coming from the lab itself. However, the stairs go down several hundred feet into the ground. Still, Travis and Naomi ignore the danger and start descending the stairs. On the other hand, Naomi's ex-boyfriend Mike had called earlier while she was on her shift. He felt they should reconsider their relationship. But since Naomi didn't speak to him properly, he has now arrived outside the storage facility. He repeatedly calls Naomi, but she doesn't pick up. At that moment, he hears a strange noise from the trunk of his car. Actually, in a fit of rage, Mike had killed his cat and stuffed it into the trunk. But Mike cannot understand how the cat has become alive now. He is extremely happy to see his pet cat alive again when he opens the trunk. But at that moment, the cat becomes aggressive and escapes from the trunk, climbing onto an antenna. Before Mike can do anything, the cat dies. As a result, the cat's blood splatters onto Mike's face and onto a deer nearby. In reality, the cat was somehow infected by the fungus, and now Mike and the deer are also infected. Consequently, strange reactions begin to occur in their bodies. Meanwhile, Naomi and Travis have already descended into the lab about 500 meters underground. Reaching the lab, they find a locker, and inside it, they see another locker. However, they cannot open the second locker at all, because it cannot be opened without special military access. In fact, this was the cold vault where Robert had sealed the fungus sample. At that moment, they hear the alarm sound from inside the vault and realize the noise was coming from here. And due to the alarm sound, the anomaly was detected. Since finding the source of the noise was their primary goal, they decide to return. Just then, they hear another sound. They notice many infected rats near the vault. They are abnormally fused together and eating each other. Travis and Naomi realize it's not safe to stay here any longer. So, he takes Naomi and they quickly exit the vault to head up toward the storage area. On the other hand, the infected Mike outside the storage has already started reacting and is becoming more violent. He now feels he must kill Naomi at any cost. So he enters the storage with a gun. And he is not alone. The infected deer has also entered the storage with him. As Robert sets out for Kansas, he receives a call from Abigail. He tells Abigail to call Romano and inform her of everything. Because like Robert, she also knows everything about the fungus and has a device they desperately need now. Naomi and Travis finally return to the upper floor and see a large deer wandering inside the storage, although they don't yet know that the deer is also infected. But now the question is, despite such precautions and the fungus sample being deep underground, how did it reach Mike's cat? The reason is that several hours ago, the vault temperature suddenly rose, causing the fungus to spread. A cockroach near the vault was the first to be infected. Then a rat became the victim, but it didn't stop there. Later, the cockroach climbed up and went outside the storage, where it accidentally ended up under the wheel of Mike's car. The cockroach's blood entered the car's trunk and infected his dead cat. Meanwhile, the deer is now going up in the elevator. When Naomi and Travis reach the top, they see the deer is about to die. But then it notices Naomi and Travis and begins to chase them. They somehow hide behind a wall. However, the deer dies before it can reach them. Both are terrified seeing the state of the deer. But just then, Mike appears at the top. His face is now pale and distorted. Before he can realize anything, he tries to kill Naomi. But due to the infection, his limbs do not work properly, so he misses his target. Taking this opportunity, Naomi escapes with Travis. But Mike doesn't stop. He continues to fire shots. At exactly the right time, Travis and Naomi escape Mike's grasp and take shelter in a storage room. They call the military to report their danger. Meanwhile, as Robert arrives in Kansas, Romano shows up to pick him up. As Robert heads toward the storage with her, a call comes from Abigail. Abigail informs Robert that 2 civilians are trapped inside the storage and the fungus has already started spreading. In fact, those 2 civilians were Naomi and Travis. So Abigail connects them with Robert. When Naomi explains the whole situation, Robert warns them not to come into contact with Mike or the dead deer under any circumstances, because this spreads primarily through touch. Additionally, they should not call anyone else. If there is any danger, they should only inform Robert because he has handled such situations before. He says they will reach the storage unit within 40 minutes and tells them to stay hidden until then. Meanwhile, Naomi and Travis have kept themselves locked inside the storage room because Mike is waiting outside for them. The moment they step out, he will kill them. Just then, hearing a noise, Travis thinks Robert has already arrived to rescue them. But when they look through the window, they notice it isn't Robert. It's Griffin. He has come to the storage unit with a biker gang as per his previous plan to steal. As Griffin enters the storage with his gang, he first sees the body of the deer near the door. He doesn't understand what happened there. Then he notices the crack in the wall. Immediately, Griffin asks Travis over the walkie-talkie what happened here. Travis warns them to get out of there. But Griffin and his team ignore Travis and go to steal the TVs from the storage room. Meanwhile, Robert takes the special device from Romano and heads toward the storage unit. In the meantime, Travis notices that as soon as Griffin's gang arrived, Mike started tailing them. This means they are now in danger. Regardless of Griffin not listening to them before, Travis still wants to save them. So Travis and Naomi exit the locked storage room to save Griffin's team. Just then, Mike arrives and vomits on Griffin's gang, infecting them as well. He locks them in the storage room and begins chasing Travis and Naomi again. But then, hearing the screams and gunfire, Rooney wakes up. As she tries to shoot Mike, he suddenly dies. Travis takes the gun from Rooney and sends her to a safe place. Meanwhile, Griffin reaches the corridor and, seeing Travis, wants to know what has been going on. As Travis tries to explain the fungus to them, they hear the infected gang members screaming inside the TV storage room to come out. Griffin points a gun at Travis and tells him to open the storage room door. But Travis doesn't open the door. He locks it even more securely. And just then, Naomi comes from behind and sprays nitrogen on Griffin. Taking this opportunity, Naomi and Travis manage to escape outside the storage unit, where they meet Robert. Robert confirms from Abigail that even though these two are not infected, everyone inside is. Robert says they cannot let the fungus get out under any circumstances. So his plan is to destroy this entire storage unit. For this, he has brought that device from Romano called a backpack nuke. He gives the nuke and special protective suits to Travis and Naomi, saying they have a job to do. They have to go in front of the vault once more, place the nuke, activate it, and exit the vault within just 6 minutes. He explains to them how to activate the nuke. He says if they can do this, the fungus will be completely destroyed, and they will become heroes to the world. So both agree to risk their lives and go to the vault to save the world. Meanwhile, Robert will stand guard outside the unit to kill any infected victim trying to exit the storage. So these two reach the vault and try to activate the nuke in front of it. Naomi suddenly notices that Robert had activated the nuke beforehand and sent them there just to leave it in front of the vault. This means they now have less than 6 minutes. So they quickly try to exit. At exactly the right time, Travis and Naomi emerge from the vault and get into the car with Robert. As they flee, the nuke activates and the entire storage unit is destroyed. Several days have passed. Robert is now in the hospital. Various news channels have labeled him a hero. Because of him, this fungus did not spread across the world. However, the military is criticized for why no one was informed about the fungus. Then Abigail visits him in the hospital and reveals that Abigail was her pseudonym. Her real name is Shawnee, and she was the one who leaked the reports of Robert's heroic deeds. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Travis is seen spending time with Naomi and her daughter. They are all happy now. And with this scene, today's movie Cold Storage concludes. Let me know in the comments how you liked the movie, and don't forget to like the video.